from the campus of Westfield State University. This is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Noble Hospital, a brand new name for a Westfield institution which is improving the health of our community every day with quality and compassion. Noble Hospital and Bay State Health, better together.
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber, Westfield Gas and Electric, where they offer gigabit internet speed. Whip City Fiber, turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiberhoods. On the web at whipcityfiber.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Bob Plass, but he'll be here soon.
Allegedly.
However,
I'll stand in for Bob Plass.
We have a guest.
You've been standing in for everybody else. You might as well.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jay.
On
Good
the
morning,
other,
Peter.
On
Good
the
morning.
other microphone is Mark Auerbach, our critic extraordinaire here on the air. I'm Jay Pagluca. Pete Coles on the other side of the board. We're Tuesday morning. Wow.
Our beginning of the month foiled to Bob Plass.
Curses, foiled again.
Yeah, exactly.
So Bob will be here momentarily. He better be. He has my coffee.
I know that's a problem.
Yeah.
If I had known, I had to stop downtown in Springfield to get coffee because Longmeadow doesn't wake up this early. But I would have brought you guys coffee.
Well, no, we appreciate
that's Bob's job.
We appreciate the Well,
I wonder if the Prius started this morning.
Well, on the other hand, usually if he's late, it's because the coffee gave him trouble on the way in. So, I may not get my coffee this morning.
There's certainly no traffic. He cannot say that he was delayed in traffic because I think I saw 3 trucks on the road.
Yep. It was the snow that was yesterday that he was thinking about today.
Correct.
You know, I know it's the end of the snow season, but I got to say to these truckers, please plow off or clear off the top of your trucks because a truck drove by me on the pike this morning.
And you get blinded.
And you get blinded when that blast of snow comes off the roof. And it's illegal in Massachusetts.
Or worse.
But now that I've done my rant, let's bring on spring, right?
Or worse, when it melts a little bit and just slides off as a sheet. That's killed so few people.
Don't follow the truck so close.
Yeah, right. That's killed a few people.
Let gravity do its job. Let it drop. On the other hand,
it was a shock yesterday morning to get up and see more snow than we've had in maybe
days.
2-3 weeks.
Days. But it was gone by noon.
Yeah, I was in Boston yesterday, so I hit the road early, and the snow just started coming down. I knew it was going to snow, but I didn't realize it was going to be like close to a whiteout at times on the turnpike. All of a sudden, traffic seems to start slowing down, and then I realize I'm behind 2 plow trucks, and the 2 plow trucks come to a dead stop in the middle of the highway. And okay, I'm going to be here for a little while. And then I realize that somebody decided to play chicken with one of the plow trucks, and there's some car sideways, and the plow had just, pushed it down
Mangled
the
it.
road a little ways. Yeah.
Oopsie.
Yeah, and so they were working to get that off to the side of the road, and it had just happened. So it's proof that, man, when there's a plowing, give them room. What's the line I'm seeing everywhere? Something about make room for the plow.
Yeah.
So whatever it is.
I thought that would be like the common sense thing.
Oh no, it's not.
A plow is bigger and heavier than you are. It's kind
Gotta
of like
say, though, the weekend weather was wonderful. I mean, I thought we were into spring. Crocuses and snowdrops.
Sorry, Bob, you lost your
starting
seat.
to come out, and
It was a nice weekend. See, so they spoil you, they tease you, and now you
Who's
think,
they?
wow, spring.
Are you talking about the Lord?
Well, if you believe in such a thing, okay, you want to blame him, you can blame him.
I don't think the guy upstairs, he's got so much on his mind. Do you really think that he's going to concentrate specifically on, let's make Monday, April 2nd's a snow day in the 413 specifically to inconvenience those people?
Would he do it?
It was worse down south.
Would he look at Western Mass and just do it to Western Mass? No. To Bob, yes. Good morning, Bob.
Yes, I've returned.
You have a short string there, right?
I might have to change. Could the host change seats with me?
Yeah, you can have your seat back.
All right, let me explain, because I think that
there's always a story.
No, but it goes along exactly with what you're saying. You're saying is that the higher powers have conspired to make it difficult for you or for us to live our lives, right? Is that what you're saying here
Is
in
this a
Westfield?
coffee story
The
about
snow. Well, listen to the story.
I see like leaked coffee.
Yeah, I got leak
there.
coffee. I got more than leak. I leak all over the place. Have you ever visited my home? And
Oh, no.
Never mind.
No, actually, no, Bob, I haven't.
That's true. Yeah, right. Oh, well, please forgive me, Peter.
I just
You'll get
busted
there
the
sooner. You get there sooner or later. All right. So, Marco, you see, I go and I pick these guys' coffee up every time, okay?
Okay.
3 or 4 weeks ago, I think I talked about my windshield wipers, which I had working in the snow, and they didn't work. And so I had to go and buy $50 worth of that, okay? So I bought the $50 worth of snow wipers. Now, for all of us who are a bit of a, have ADHD, okay, and are like crazed individuals, right? We always live on the edge. We always live like, I know you're not scheduled here until like 6:30 this morning, and here you are, and it's 6 o'clock, and you're right here on time, Mark.
Somebody had to cover for you, Bob.
my
Well,
God.
something made me get up early and go, I think I'll go out to Westfield and work on the comments that we might talk about on the air at 7. And I had no idea when I walked in to put my stuff down in the other office.
There's two panicked people going, come here.
Yeah,
Come here,
panicked.
I'm like, come on in.
Yes, well, see, that was God working in the other way. This is
Well, all I can tell you is,
so
see,
I got Satan working on my side.
I'm a planner, and when I bring Artsbeat Radio back to a weekly thing
format,
come May,
yeah.
it's not at 6 o'clock in the morning, because who wants to get up at 4:30 in the morning? It's
Hey,
at
wait a
8
minute.
No, it's
at 8
exactly,
it's at
absolutely
8
true.
in the morning, so I can get up at 5:30.
I've risen to the top of the Peter principle, where the time I'm in the arts, and we sleep until noon most times. Actors and musicians, when they're in the business, sleep, and college students sleep until noon. So to have me getting up at 5 or 4:30, as you say, I'm up at 5 to tell you the truth. 4:30 or 5 is beyond belief. So even to get me out of bed is difficult. Okay, so I grant you that. So I plan everything so that I have that last little whiff of sleep. Okay, so this morning I got out to the car, and and the windshield wipers went back and forth. No, they didn't go back and forth. They were frozen, and my left. What do you call that?
Wiper.
Wiper.
Arm.
My left wiper. I had left associated
Wiper
with
arm.
something else. I don't know where that came from. My
don't know where
left
that went.
wiper. Okay.
Just let it go.
Busted off. Okay. So I had to get out of the car and do that. Okay. So
But
then
it wasn't raining. What did you need your wipers for?
Did you have
But
frost?
just because it's it's just like it's just habit that I do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bad habit. It's a bad habit. Let's face it. It will never happen again because I got to pay now another $40 for my stupid wiper. So at any rate, I then proceed to the Dunkin' Donuts where I have been going and complaining for years. Okay. And
he has a passive-aggressive relationship
Not
with
that
the
there's
staff.
anything wrong with that.
not
Dunkin'
at
Donuts
all.
is a wonderful place.
No, and it's actually really wonderful.
Agree-
And then
underwriter
they've got a
of
new
WSFD.
wonderful girl who's really kind of nice. Except
It's just everybody's.
Except, there's always
she
an
hands
except.
you your change,
Yes.
and she doesn't really care whether you've got it in your hands or not.
Bob,
That's the problem.
How much did you lose your mind over today? How many
Well,
cents?
Well, there were dollars. The dollars
you
breezed away. The dollars in my hand breezed away, and the change went to the ground.
Why don't you have a card that you use at Starbucks? You get a card, and you don't have to. Cash never changes hands.
Yes.
Or you do it on your phone.
Jay, we need to buy Bob a Dunkin'
No,
Donuts gift card that he can recharge.
I had it, but the problem is that you in order to get in there, you give your website, okay, my email address, all right, and then you give your password. Well, I don't know what the password is.
I'm already
And they won't let me in without the password, so I have to go and pretend I'm somebody else, and I don't like to lie.
This is community radio, right? And you have to wonder what segment of the community we are dealing with this morning. So why don't we go to like a quick break?
Well, wait
so
a minute.
you can take the chair in the center.
Wait a minute.
And
Thank
you can
you.
pass out the coffee to these nice
no,
gentlemen.
all right, wait a minute.
Bob, what's your
Before-
first? By the way, what's your
And
first
then
song?
Yeah, no.
Go on. We'll pretend that it's 6 o'clock all over again, and you can start.
All right,
That's
wait a
Mark
minute.
bailing out. He's
no.
like, I'm sorry I even walked in the door.
So I got behind a car, and on the way, after I picked up the flying.
But wait,
flying
there's
dollar
more.
bills, I got behind a car who got angry at me because I was tailgating them because I was even later, and the car was going at 35 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone. Now, I'm not wrong that I could go 40 miles an hour. Okay, so then it goes down to 25 miles an hour. And then it goes down to 20. And I said, oh, my God, I got somebody who's going to
Was it a maroon minivan?
Yes.
That guy usually comes through at 5:30, and he does that same speed up Western Avenue every single day.
Oh, my.
And he usually pulls over right in front of the cemetery.
Oh, my God.
It's that guy. I know exactly who you're talking about. Seriously.
Holy mother. He's there to torture us. I think he's an angel working for the other side.
I see him pulling up
swear.
on University Drive, so I don't know where he works.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
But he's there, usually there at 5:30. You caught him
Here
late.
to personally to torment you.
Well, not only to
Usually torments me.
Well, it's Peter, but Peter passed on his bad karma to me today. So
Peter passed a peck of pickled peppers.
But the good news is that you're here, Mark.
He saved you, Bob.
You are here, and I'm with my trusty, dusty, lusty, and trusty sidekick, JPEG Luca, and the April's autocrat of the airways, Peter Coles.
What's amazing is it took him 14 minutes to get to that routine.
That's right.
That's right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, do you think people have been scintillated, or have they turned off and gone the route of?
I think
are they
so.
listening to Baxton O'Brien now?
They want to know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Bob.
they are completely. You've confused the public, which is okay. It's early. Some of them, those that are retired, can go back to bed and say, "Let's start over." Those of them that are in their cars on the way to work can pull over to the side of the road and say, "Why now?" It really.
And somebody somewhere is going, cool, somebody's got a worse day than me.
Oh, God help me.
Like it's Tuesday. Like, wow. It's Tuesday.
Wow, it is Tuesday. That's where we started, but I wasn't
Exactly.
here. Okay.
Exactly.
6:15 at WSKB.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the good news for you. It's Tony Orlando's 74th birthday. Isn't that good news, Mark?
That is so fabulous. I'm giving you the center seat. I'll be back at 7.
All right.
We got one of the things we have today is we have a CD giveaway going
I love this
in the
idea.
7 to 8 hour, and I found a ticket wrapped among the CDs from The Legend of Georgia McBride. I don't know why it was with the CDs.
You mean we're going to actually give away a ticket to a show?
No, we're not. It's a ticket from last week.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I've got.
We still could do it.
I've got 5 of the Capitol Steps current CD called Orange is the New Barack.
Cool.
And
yeah.
Capitol Steps will be at the Academy of Music in Northampton on April 20th, and we'll give those 5 CDs away in the second hour.
Aren't you great? Oh, God. Get back there to your work, and I'll move over here to the center.
I'm going to get back to my
You don't
work.
want to hear Tony Orlando and Dawn?
I really don't. But tie a yellow ribbon round the.
I refuse to do that one. So I found another one. But
They have another one?
Oh, yeah. He is 74 years old today.
Can't resist it.
Yeah. He is 74 years old today. And since he's older than I am, I thought I'd play one of his hits. You know, this was in the days when music had tunes attached to them and a sort of, I can't figure out melodies. And you sang along. I don't think this song that they're ever going to would ever make it to the top of the top 40 this week if it were out there like Tony Orlando. I don't know what I'm saying. At any rate,
go to the music
Tony
box.
Orlando and Dawn. This is a song called "Steppin' Out." I'm gonna boogie tonight.
From Television City in Hollywood, it's Tony Orlando and Dawn, featuring Joyce Vincent Wilson and Thelma Hopkins, with tonight's guest, Adrian.
No, I'm not upset. I'm not. Lots of people get married. Please, I'm in a hurry. Won't you straighten my tie? I'll get by. She was something else. She was. Now she's gonna get married. She's got herself carried off by somebody new. What can I do? Don't worry about me, Ma. I'll be alright. I'm stepping out. I'm gonna boogie tonight. Dancing and singing love songs till the dawn's early light. Oh, I'm stepping out. I'm gonna boogie tonight. Yes, I must admit we did. We look so good together. Thought it would last forever. But I'm a dreamer at heart. Dreams fall apart. Tell me where's my shoes, my groovy shoes. Enough about Diana. Oh, my sweet Diana. She's getting married today. But don't worry about me, Ma. I'll be alright. I'm stepping out. I'm gonna boogie tonight. Dancing and singing love songs till the dawn's early light. Oh, I'm stepping out, Ma. I'm gonna boogie tonight. Warm and tender lips that lied and told me that she loved me. I'm just catching cold, Ma. These aren't tears in my eyes. So don't worry about me, Ma. I'll be alright. See, I'm stepping out. I'm gonna boogie tonight. Dancing and singing love songs till the dawn's early light. Oh, I'm stepping out, Ma. I'm gonna boogie tonight.
Dancing and singing, don't worry, I'll be alright. I'm stepping out.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Wally Computer Associates, one of the largest technology providers in North America. Headquartered in Southwick, Wally provides all of the products and services that you'd expect from a world-class technology partner to schools, colleges, businesses, as well as state and local governments and agencies. Wally Computer Associates, meeting all of your technology needs. On the web at WCA.com. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is April 3rd, 2018. I was thinking it was the second day of April.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, I was thinking that yesterday was April Fool's
That only
Day.
comes after the first.
No, actually, it was the 13th time that April Fool's Day has coincided with Easter. I looked it up.
On the
13th,
hand,
yes.
How many days that we're on the air do people consider it April Fool's Day?
No, they consider Groundhog
The entire month. No, the entire month of April.
Groundhog's Day!
Yes.
Oh, my God. It might. Here's Bobby and his cronies again. It's April Fool's.
Bobby and his cronies?
No, I looked it up. Since the founding
cronies.
of the United States,
Yes.
it's the 13th time because they come in bunches.
I see. Now,
the way the
Passover also came at the same time.
I know that's also fairly rare too. That
Yeah.
Passover and Easter coincide.
Passover was started on Friday night, but so it's happening. So Passover and Easter and April Fool's Day. And there's no correlation except for Passover and Easter. Right. Because I'm reading this wonderful book. Actually, you guys gotta read it. And I read it instead of going to church on Sunday. I hope that gets me into heaven.
Does that give you extra credit?
Yeah. It's called Desire. I don't think it does. Desire.
You have to go to confession now, Bob.
Yeah. I even ordered two books. One called Zealot by Reza Aslan about the life of times of Jesus Christ. Okay.
As long as you didn't order Dianetics, we're all set.
No. And then I ordered another one about God or not God, the founding of Islam. And so I'm going to read about Muhammad and also about Jesus Christ. But the book that I'm reading is called The Desire of the Everlasting Hills. Now, it sounds like a romance novel, and it's not. It's the story of the world before Christ and the world after Christ. So I read it
Well, you could say
on
you
Easter Sunday.
You could say the same thing about Buddha and Muhammad and a lot of the great figures in religious history, whether it's your religion or not.
Right. And in reality, what the book was saying is that when Jesus had his followers, and even afterward, they were a sect in Judaism.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, of course they. But
Okay.
but I'd forgotten that. I mean, you forget
Technically,
that.
all Christians technically are Jewish because they believe in the tenets of the Old Testament as well as the New Testament.
That's exactly right. You are great. You could write a book.
I told you, I really enjoy history.
Paid attention
And when they
in
taught,
Sunday school.
No, I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
They taught religious history for 4 years, and I loved all. When we did world religions, I loved that subject.
It's fascinating.
I still do.
Yeah, and so the Seder on Christians, Holy Thursday, which is before Good Friday. Holy Thursday, that was a Seder that Jesus says, this is my body and this is my blood, etc., etc. So, and I'm riding in that car this morning, and I'm trying to listen to the radio while I'm behind that man. Oh, God, and there we go again. And on the radio, they were talking. On the radio, they were talking about Martin Luther King, and saying that the day before he died, he goes to Memphis to help a labor strike. Okay, and the day before he died was when he delivered that speech. I've been to the mountaintop.
And almost some people think that, and I know that. I think NBC Nightly News is going to do they were either there or they're going to be there this week. Mm-hmm. They intimated that they think that he had a premonition that he was going to get killed.
Yes, yeah. He oftentimes would say, according to this report this morning, that he wasn't going to see the end. He was satisfied with where things were going, and he wanted to leave the nonviolent movement in good hands and in a good place. That's why he goes to a labor dispute in Memphis rather than a racial dispute.
I wish people had followed that thought. I really do.
No, I know. We got to get there. But so at any rate, I read books on Easter Sunday rather than ordered books on Christianity. So hoping that would get me into heaven. Now, what did you guys do on Easter? Or Passover, or both.
I'm not Jewish. Really good jelly beans.
Oh,
so I'm happy now for at least a week until the jelly beans.
I avoided the candy as for the most part.
Oh, I had some last night. I had a couple of delicious ones last night. But did you have? Did you guys go to church? I was trying to picture both of you in church, and I'm not.
I watched church on TV.
You're as good as I am.
I saw Brother Terrence.
Do you get credit for that? Actually, now when I was a kid,
I've known Brother Terrence for a long. I mean, I know who he is, and we were when I worked at Catholic Communications. I knew of him, and I talked with him a few times.
Yeah, I need to help that man to smile. He is not
Brother Terrence.
God,
don't smile.
He's very serious.
It's too serious. Honest to God, I keep wanting to. I want to shake him up.
No.
He's too serious. And then he says, I love you, and he's got this frown on his face, and I'm thinking, oh, God, this
Priests
is going far.
Priests are supposed to be scary. That's their job. To a little kid...
he's not even a priest. He's a brother.
He's a passionist brother.
He's a brother.
But to a little kid being brought up Catholic, you're supposed to be afraid of the priest.
No, see, that's different now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, back in the 60s.
We were all afraid of Sister Mary Eugene and others and whatever.
Sister Mary Elephant?
Yeah, no.
So, no. And it was Father Hussey. And he was in charge of our church. I was brought up Catholic, and we were all scared to death of this guy. He never smiled. Always gave you the glare as you came. Oh, if you put a lot in the plate, he'd shake your hand and say hello on the way out.
Jay, we had a good Irish priest, Father Sexton. The man was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And
great to the parishioners. Just a really good personality.
I had
awesome man.
Our Lady of Hope had Father Power. And Father Power's brother was one of the CEOs of General Motors or something, and he'd get a Cadillac every year. And the good news is every year
was it a black Cadillac?
I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was. Every year he would sell that Cadillac to my father, and we would buy his Cadillac. Now, my father was a carpenter. My mother's name wasn't Mary, so you don't have to worry that my father was a carpenter. My mother was Eleanor. So.
Her middle name was Mary.
Her middle name was Mary. So, yeah. So at any rate, where was I going with this? Where was I?
Where
are you ever going with anything?
No. But
why don't you compose your thoughts and we'll take the break?
Well, just let me sort of finish them in saying that Easter is a wonderful holiday.
You were talking about a caddy and your father.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my father was a carpenter, and he got the Cadillac every year from Father Power, who on Easter delivered a sermon. I don't remember Father Power as ever smiling either. But
I remember Father Sexton is laughing right after his homily a couple times.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Because he would crack a couple of good jokes.
Well, there are now priests that crack jokes all the time.
But this was in the 80s.
Father Dean here used to have one joke after another.
This was in the 80s.
Oh, gotcha.
Good Irish priest. I miss him dearly.
Ah, yes. Hey, speaking in the 80s, you know who was one of the top stars of movies during the 80s?
Who was one of the top stars
Prince?
of the...
No.
Never
Let me
mind.
kind of
That's
describe
90s.
her and see if you can. Jay will do this. Jay, she has blonde hair.
Tom Cruise. Oh,
She has blonde hair, and she loves dogs and cats and all manner of wildlife. She established an animal foundation.
she plays the guitar on those long commercials.
Never, no, she's too old to play guitar.
About Give Now.
Here's a clue. Her birthday is today, and she's 96 years old today. 96, and still looking pretty darn good, if you ask me.
And she was a star of movies in the 80s.
She was the top star of movies in the 80s. And she appeared
You sure
with
you don't mean the 60s?
60s and 70s and...
apparently the 80s.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. It was the 70s. It was
Yeah,
the
Bob,
60s. So it was the late 60s. Oh,
like
my
she
God.
passed her time
Where
in the
does time
80s.
go? Where does time go?
You know how confused you have me right now? Now, if I'm confused,
All right, so does
and
that
I
help you?
practice, what do you think is happening to our listeners here?
All right, so
I saw the name and I'm like, there's no way in the 80s that she was top of the pops.
yeah, well, that 80s was the time that I sort of tuned out, so you're right.
I'm still
It
gonna
was
guess
Late
Tom
60s,
Cruise.
early 70s.
60s.
Huge.
late 60s.
She was also a TV star, was she not?
She was a TV star.
That would have been the 50s.
And she had some top songs on the hit parade.
Doris
And
Day.
You're exactly right. Doris Day.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. So I wanted to find a song that was short enough to play because I knew I was going to be talking up a blue streak today. So I found a Doris Day song. And here it is. It's from the movie Singing in the Rain, but it was also the Warner Brothers used this every movie from the 1920s on. It's in 45,000 movies, and from that's entertainment. Singing in the Rain, Doris Day.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down the lane with a happy refrain, and I'm singing, just singing in the rain. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm so happy again. I'm laughing at clouds so dark up above. The sun's in my heart and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain, I've a smile on my face. I walk down the lane with a happy refrain, and I'm singing, just singing in the rain.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Easter week. Happy Hanukkah week. Good Pesach, as they say in Judaism.
I got my socks on.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, my God. Irreverent.
No.
Irreverent.
We just play straight men.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Hey,
But it's so easy to mess you up.
Oh, my God. Hey, everybody, it's Bob Plass. I am here
Good morning,
with
Bob.
Jay Pagluka. Good morning,
Look,
Jay.
I should make it clear that we do go out of our way to mess with you.
Isn't that sweet?
But, you know, I do owe you an apology.
For what?
For messing with you as much as I do.
I love you, Jay.
Well, I know.
I almost love you as much as I love the Republican on the other side of the board here.
Now are you gonna give me a Bud Light? I love you, man. That was almost as good as Dilly Dilly.
Jay,
but we won't
Dilly
do that.
Dilly, yes. I was about to say that.
Have they canned is Dilly Dilly off the air now
No.
as a commercial?
Nope.
They're still doing Dilly Dilly.
Now they have the Bud Knight.
The Bud Knight.
Yes.
And he comes in on
That's supposed to come in and save them.
Oh, yeah.
And he ends up just going to the packy.
Yeah. Has a Bud Light commercial or one of those commercials ever made you want to have a beer? I'm a Bud Light.
The Real Men
or
of
Bud-
Genius have.
Yeah.
No, I
The
don't
Real
know
Men
why
of
you
Genius
like
series?
that series.
Oh,
No.
my God. Those are the best commercials of all time.
Really?
No, that's different. They want to just make you want to go drink. Just no. That's a whole different thing. No, it's entertaining. And advertising is all about entertainment.
Sure.
If it catches your eye or catches your ear, as the case may be, then it's going to be successful.
Right.
Think about ads in the past that were so clever, were so perfect, right? So here, let me hit you with a couple of. This is unrehearsed. Let me hit you with a couple of lines.
Always unrehearsed. Go ahead.
Go to the last drop.
Maxwell House Coffee.
And that was from the '60s.
Yep.
All right.
Oh God, I remembered that.
Yeah, right.
I do too, though.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hit some other ones. Think about it.
Where's
What
the
other
beef?
ones?
Where's the beef?
That was a Wendy's commercial.
That's exactly.
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? What's that one where they open up the medicine cabinet and see somebody else in there?
Oh, that one's just creepy. The pillow guy.
I think that's Alka-Seltzer.
Oh no! Just recently they opened
plop,
up the
fizz.
That's
Oh, what a relief
Alka-Seltzer,
it is.
right.
Oh my God!
Yep.
Listen to him.
I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Don't know what that
Oh
is.
wait a minute! Yeah, I do. It's not a grinder.
You ate it, Ralph.
Yeah.
I can't believe I ate the
whole
thing.
It's for Rolaids or Tums.
No, he just said it. It was an Alka-Seltzer commercial from
Oh,
the
it
60s.
was.
It was a black and white Alka-Seltzer
By the way,
commercial.
the best local one,
Yeah.
Moose and I, we'd like to come out to your place.
Kavanaugh's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kavanaugh's
All right.
Furniture.
How about this? If we can't beat your deal, nobody does it better than blank Chevrolet.
Central.
No. Nobody.
Bolio.
Bollier Chevrolet. Did you get that? Bollier. You
that
got
was
it
it.
right.
Yeah.
That was my commercials. I made those. I was the Bollier bunny for years. Speaking of Easter, for every year they'd pull out this commercial
Bob
of me.
is the Easter Bunny.
They'd pull out this commercial of me in rabbit ears going, nobody sells
Jay,
for
put on-
less
put on
than
your headphones
Bollier
for a minute.
Chevrolet.
I think this is the funniest commercial of all time.
Well, okay, here we go. We're going to hear it.
Bud Light presents Real Men of
Listen to
Genius.
this words.
All right.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Silent Killer Gas Passer.
Mr. Silent Killer Gas Passer.
Is this a Bud
Last
Light
night
commercial?
you had the enchilada combo platter. This morning, the 3-cheese omelet with broccoli. This afternoon, you're a ticking time bomb. Because of you, a simple elevator ride is suddenly a 42-floor plummet into the very bowels of hell.
Oh, how true.
Take
Who
my
did
breath
it?
away.
Who cares? Sweet mercy, please just someone light a
Sweet
match.
mercy. Light a match.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh ninja of the nasty. And while you're at it, crack open a window.
Now that is the funniest commercial of all
Light beer,
time.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis,
I'll
Missouri.
give you that. I'll give you that because I hadn't heard that.
Just with the
version.
girls of Sweet Sweet Mercy, the girls singing that piece. And
That is really those.
isn't that
Oh, Mad Men sitting around the table were really great.
Bud Light,
Whoever
Anheuser-Busch?
put Bud Light with flatulence? I don't get it.
But they did a
But it
whole
worked.
series of them.
Oh, did they?
They had so many requests for copies of the commercial. Anheuser-Busch actually released it as a commemorative CD that you could buy. The whole series, there was like 60 of them
Yes. Yeah.
of all
my-
topics and manner of things.
Sure.
You know.
Hey, what about this one? What's the story, Big D?
Oh, that Big D's
Big D
carpet
carpets,
used to be
yes.
right by my house.
Big D carpets.
No, not Big
What's
D.
the
What
story,
story is
Big D?
Wasn't that Ocean State Job Lot?
No, it was
Oh.
Big D carpets.
Oh,
Yeah.
If we
You're,
can,
you're thinking of Choo Choo Vine.
Oh, Choo Choo Vine.
Yeah, that's
Railroad
Railroad
Salvage.
Salvage.
Railroad Salvage. That's what
you were
What's
thinking
the
of.
story, Big D?
No,
Railroad that was
no,
Choo Choo Vine.
No, it wasn't.
Or the Betting Barn Cowboy.
Oh, he's awful. Oh, he is.
But that
oh,
character's
my
been around.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Now go back to national commercials. Cross Your Heart.
Broad.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good and Plenty. Oh, wait a minute. No, I just
that's
gave that
candy.
away.
I can't believe.
I ate the whole thing. I
No.
can't believe it's not butter.
There you go. Yeah. Which is the worst name of any for a fake butter.
Or the
use
little tub of margarine going parquet.
Parquet. Oh, I love that. Now, Prel shampoo is back. I saw a commercial for Prel shampoo.
Does it still come in a glass bottle? To put something in a glass, a slippery glass bottle in the shower?
No, this
Really?
is a plastic one. It
That's a
kinda
60s
yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. And you know what? When they said Prel, I immediately, my olfactory nerves, my old olfactory nerves,
You smelled
went
it.
into, I smelled it.
Yeah.
Can you smell Prel right now?
I never was a big fan of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Smell is one of those things that if I smelled it 40 years ago and never since, and I smelled it now, I know what it was. It's one of those things that comes right back at you.
Oh, my gosh.
Like the big drink when I was a kid. If you there was no such thing as Diet Coke, so the big diet drink was Tab.
Oh, Tab, yeah.
Oh,
Which is an awful
Oh,
taste.
God. I tasted it right when you said it. I just
Tab.
tasted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A memory
But
of
it's a
taste.
unique taste.
That's right. How about Tang?
Well, that's
still around.
Yeah, that's still around.
That is still around?
You can still buy it. Yeah.
Would they call it Crystal Light or
It's
something?
the
it's
drink of
Tang.
astronauts. It's still fake orange drink.
yeah. I loved it because you could put it on your tongue and
Yes.
then you could have a drink without having water.
It's like fizzies. Remember that?
Oh,
fizzies
yes.
were
Pop
the little-
rocks.
Pop rocks. But
Pop
fizzies
rocks.
were something you put in to flavor your drink.
572-5579.
Yes, yeah.
If you have your own memory of old, what else was out there? Zorex was a syrup, a sweet
Xerox.
syrup. No, Zorex. It was out of, and it was big
I'm
around
picturing
Boston.
something like a herpes medication or something.
No.
Ooh.
What is that?
Yeah.
Xerox.
Xenex.
Zyrtex.
Zyrtex, whatever.
Zyrtex
no.
or something.
Zorex.
No,
was,
the big chocolate one was Bosco.
Bosco.
Oh,
yeah.
I loved Bosco. Oh,
Yeah,
my gosh.
that was a chocolate syrup you put
I
in
have
your
some.
milk. Can you
Because
still buy that?
Well, apparently it can, because last year's big broadcast I went to, and my wife at the show we were at won the basket of all the commercial items.
And Bosco
was one of them, yes.
in it. Now, Bosco is a chocolate syrup. What makes it different than other chocolate
I
syrups?
don't know.
Nothing.
I've
It's
never
a
been
brand
able to-
name. Yeah,
I've
you
never been
gotta
able
have
to
the
figure that
Bosco.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't it you are the nostalgia kid, J. Pagluca? Your eyes light up when we talk nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it? What is that? It's comforting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We all have our hobbies, and there's something that, a flashback to when you were a kid that just plain makes you comfortable. You know, and I guess, and maybe that's what it is. It's like people talk about eating their comfort food. Well,
Right.
when I think of 50s and 60s television, even 70s television and music and rock and roll, it's a flashback to some of the most mellow, comfortable times of my life. That's
Yeah.
all.
Well, as a flashback, then, did you by chance see the repeats, the new Roseanne? Have you seen the episodes?
I saw the first 10 minutes. Wasn't
You did?
impressed and walked away.
Oh, gosh, you got to stick with it. You have to stick with it.
Wait a minute, you're watching this show?
I love Roseanne.
She's an unabashed Republican.
I know.
And she grows macadamia nuts.
She does.
I don't know why that's good or bad.
And she's
but,
still as crazed as ever. Her husband,
she
John
is
Goodman,
funny.
has gotten sober, so he has
Husband
a
in the
different
show.
take in the show.
Husband in the show.
Has gotten sober. He hasn't gotten sober in the show. Yeah.
Did they come back with the same thing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
of course.
The same
and they're all
opening.
sitting around the table.
They're all
a little
laughing.
older now.
Yeah. And they have children. And
the children all are grown up now. They're in their 30s.
No,
The children have
50s.
children's.
One of the blonde-haired child is now 50 years old. And she's trying to be in her 40s.
40s, yeah.
40s, and she's on hard times, and she wants to be a surrogate mother. You know how that goes over in that family. And
I'm telling you, the people on the right and left coast have panned it. But the people in the heartland, I've heard that the people...
Really?
Yes, they're pissed off about it.
I can't help
the
but
ratings
say,
in the middle of the country are huge.
No. And then Michael Fishman, who played the young son, who had, during the run of the show initially, had some problems with black kids at school or something, ends up marrying an African-American woman, and I don't
But that's what people don't understand. The liberals don't understand that.
No, you're. Wait a minute. You're talking to a liberal here, and I'm on your side here. So yeah,
I know that's
but it's amazing to you.
Apparently, you've broken ranks on this one.
Oh no, I haven't broken rank, because how can you not laugh at? I laugh when something's funny, and I think by laughing together, both of us laughing together at something and saying, "Oh, it is funny," when Roseanne tells her real liberal sister, who is now a life coach.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Laurie Metcalf is an incredible actress.
She says to her, they're about to.
Isn't she Sheldon's mom in Big Bang?
She might. She's all over the place.
She could be. She's an incredible actress.
She's on Broadway right now in Three Tall Women, but an Edward Albee play. But at any rate, they're about to say grace, and Roseanne says, "What's her name? What's sister's name? I can't remember. Let's say Lori. Okay, Lori, take a knee." Yeah. So
that's funny.
Yeah, that is funny, and it's like that. And they also have a young grandson who is Darlene's son rather. Is
and the middle daughter, she's gay, isn't she?
No, she's a transgender. She's transgender. She's a young transgender. Oh, sure, Sarah Gilbert, who's
she's
the
gay in
executive,
real life. Yeah,
executive producer of The View and executive producer with Roseanne of this show.
Yeah.
And she's got a bigger
super
part.
talented too.
Yeah, very talented. The sister of Melissa Gilbert from Little House on the Prairie. Did you know that? That's the same family.
You know how confused you have me again this morning?
Stay with me, Jay.
No chance. No chance. Yeah, I know. Stay.
But okay, so my take on this show.
Good dog, Ubu.
Yeah.
Good dog.
Yeah. Take on the show is.
You know what that's from?
Ubu. All of the, and I can't remember the producer's name, but yeah, there was a whole bunch of '90s shows with Sit Ubu Sit.
Yeah, but that was what's the movie with the show with? Oh, what's the name of that show?
I don't know, but
with Michael,
Michael. Oh, I know what it is. Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
There we
yeah.
go. I solved that matter. Now back to business here. The review of Roseanne from this liberal person is A+. The writing is sharp. The characters are real to life. The problems are real. But
they make it funny because that's the whole point of a sitcom.
That's right. And they really point out the foibles of both sides. I mean, it's not a down-the-line Republican show, and I don't know how Donald Trump can look at that and think that it's a down-the-line for Republicanism, because you watch the show and it's
you don't get it, Bob. It's presenting real life, and that's what he's talking about.
Oh, give me a break. All right.
It's presenting real life.
Uh-huh.
You just said it's presenting real life.
Well, it is.
And now you disagree with him?
I don't think that's the reason why he said it. I think it's because he hears, it's a Republican show, and so he's going to back it.
No, that's his base.
Oh, got it.
That's the reality of his base.
He's playing to his reality.
But that's the reality of his base, Bob.
Yeah, I know.
You still don't get that part of it.
Oh, I do get that part. I do get it.
With all their foibles and with all their,
Right.
interracial marriage, that's all part of his base.
Yeah. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody seems to have died out in this show, though? Family Ties, except for Michael Fox. Alan Thicke is gone. But was that...
Alan Thicke wasn't on that show.
Alan Thicke wasn't on Family Ties?
No, he was Growing Pains.
Oh, that's right. Who was the father on the...
I can picture him, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, okay. So Michael J. Fox's show, Family Ties, had a very liberal character played by Michael Fox.
Yep.
And growing up in a conservative house. So it would be interesting if they looked at that
No, it was
again.
the reverse. He was conservative and they were liberal. Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So it's very similar. Maybe that would be another show to revive and bring it back so that people like Nostalgia J. Pagluca, Nostalgia Man J.
Nostalgia
Pagluca.
isn't an 80s show. Nostalgia is 60s, 70s.
Well, no, now, you know what?
No. Nostalgia
Listen,
is something.
anything 30 years old or older is considered an oldie. So that
Nostalgia
means
for
all
me.
the stuff that I grew up with in the 80s is now oldies.
That's exactly right. And hey, do you know that for houses?
That's just wrong.
For houses, according to the National Historic Society, you have an antique home when it's 50 years old. Believe it or not.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, maybe because they
Absolutely.
consider the lifespan of a house to be 50
and that's
to 70 years.
So nostalgic for television.
Bob, yours is just ancient.
I am ancient.
No,
And
your house.
Speaking of ancient, my house. Oh, hey,
That I've never been to.
get things back on track, I'm going to play a song by Kenny Rankin. Again, I play him all the time, but I just love his voice. His music was wonderful. He opened for George Carlin year after year after year. He and George Carlin went on the road together several times. And in fact, George Carlin got him hooked on cocaine after he had gotten clean from cocaine. Terrible. But he died from lung cancer. He's got the voice of an angel. And this is one of his best tunes, Blackbird. Blackbird. Who wrote Blackbird? Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
I don't know.
The Beatles.
I can't remember.
This is the Beatles. They're speaking of nostalgia. Kenny Rankin, Blackbird.
Blackbird singing at night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You're only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You're only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the dark of a cold black night. were just anticipating this moment, you and me. You were only waiting for this moment to be free.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. Ken's Den, Tuesday, 8 to 10. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, there they are, folks.
That one last shot before we open the mics.
I love the little swagger that he.
What did you say, Marco?
No, it doesn't matter what he said, but it was clear he said it with confidence.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I've gone from comatose to fabulous on this.
Oh, you're on Starbucks coffee. I'm on Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Is it time for his entrance music?
Yeah, it's time for his entrance music, everybody. Wow, it's Tuesday morning, April 3rd, 2018. I am your host. Headphones. Yes, I am your host, Bob Plass, and I am here with Critics Corner starring a fabulous critic extraordinaire, Mark Auerbach, as well as our trusty, lusty, dusty, and crusty sidekick, J. Luca, and the autocrat of the airways, April's autocrat of the airways, Peter Coles, the former kitten of the keys.
I'm always
kitten of the keys sound. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so
I should be the Autobot of April.
Goes up, and Mark Auerbach takes the stage. Mark,
you make it so theatrical. You really do.
Yeah.
I mean, the combination of that, Jerry Herman overture,
that's right,
and everything. I'll have to find an overture that I feel suits me, but Jerry Herman is not it.
It's not your. It's not.
No, we'll find. When he opens it and says, "I am your host," all I can think of is the next line. Your ghost host.
Oh yeah. Or here in Broadway, I am your host. Willkommen, bienvenue.
I don't know. I listen to a lot of different kinds of music, not only theatrical music, but
thank God,
classics, jazz, the whole thing. I heard a friend of mine shared on Facebook with me an a cappella quintet. Of which two of the people originated out of Yukon. One who was an actor at Connecticut Repertory Theater. It's called the Highline Jazz, and vocal jazz. And I'm
sort of like Pentatonics.
I'm doing a feature on them for Westfield News based on hearing this little snippet of an Al Green. They did a Michael Jackson, an Al Green, and then there were 4 videos on their Facebook page.
What's the name of that?
Highline Vocal Jazz. And the story will come out in a couple of weeks. And on Artsbeat Radio, I'm going to use their music to introduce
love
the
it.
show. That they are so good, and it made me think there's so much music out there that as I'm planning the musical themes for Artsbeat Radio going forwards, I
Right.
really need to tap into things other than Jerry Herman.
Yes,
and,
exactly right.
The best overtures of all time are those of Julie Stein, who wrote Gypsy and Funny Girl and Hallelujah Baby. And those overtures, Sugar was another one. The overtures are absolutely incredible pieces of music.
Yeah. My favorite overture of all time is not really an overture because an overture, you know what is an overture, Peter? As your professor.
Doesn't it kind of set the scene for the first act?
Yeah,
It
but
does,
what
it
is
does.
an overture made of, up of?
All
Usually
of the
it's
different
melodies.
pieces.
It's usually snippets of those. Yeah, it's snippets.
Snippets of what?
The
all
first
the
act.
music in the
There we
show.
are. The songs in the show. So the best, or many of the songs, or the themes in the show, are contained in the overture. That's what the overture is. Except for some shows which have separate overtures that are different. That sort of set this. Stephen Sondheim does this. Like
Scene setters.
yeah. But
Follies, Sondheim's Follies had an overture in which none of the music in the overture was played during the course of the
Reflective
show.
of the
that's
show.
exactly right.
And Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel.
Oh, that's what I was headed.
With the Carousel Waltz, which is not repeated anywhere else in the show.
And it's a 7-minute piece of music. Now, overtures tend to be long to begin with, right? Don't you think? I mean, like
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I was going to ask, do current shows still have overtures?
Some of them do. Some of the overtures are staged. Like I saw a revival of Promises.
Oh, yes,
with
I saw
Sean
that.
Hayes and Christian Chenoweth a couple of years ago. And when it originated, Burt Bacharach and Hal David wrote a somewhat traditional overture of the music in the show, and the music was all top 40. I mean, they were the first contemporary composers to come to Broadway.
Burt
after
Bacharach
having
and
a
Hal David
slew of
wrote
hits.
Dionne Warwick's.
If
all
you
of
guys
Dionne
don your
Warwick's.
headphones, this is the only overture Jay and I know.
Oh,
You ready?
yeah. Well, let's hear it. What is this?
Talk about nostalgia. Well, that's a flashback to the
What is that?
60s. It's the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show.
Oh my God! Well, it has to be a musical that follows it. So that's like the theme song. Peter, it's a theme song, not an overture.
Maybe a music. Maybe Sondheim, who says he's writing one more musical, and he's like 88.
Right.
Maybe his last musical is the Bugs Bunny show. Bugs Bunny in Manhattan, or something like that.
But the Carousel Waltz, 7 minutes long from Carousel, and but it is its own entity. It's one of the greatest pieces of music. It really harks you back. I wanted to play it on the show, but it's 7 minutes long, so all of
Could
us.
have played part of it.
Yeah, but then I decided.
I mean, there's some iconic pieces of music that have crossed over into pop. Like, I think Murray Head was one of the best, musical. He composed 2 great pieces of music.
Murray Head,
Yes,
who played Jesus
Why-
or Judas in Godspell.
he wrote the music or some of the music for Jesus Christ Superstar.
No, he didn't write any of the music.
Oh,
for
yes, he
Jesus.
did.
Murray Head.
Yes,
Oh,
and he's also credited for the song "One Night
Murray
in
Head
Bangkok."
also did some of
Chess.
the music of Chess.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there was a song in Chess which actually went top 40 before the concept album ever came out, and it was a song called "One Night in Bangkok."
One of my favorite songs of all
Which
time. It has
I
the
loved.
coolest sound.
Oh, I love
it
that.
has a great techno sound for its day, and the musical Chess has never really gone anywhere. There was
No.
one a short-lived Broadway production
This year?
but no, a long time ago.
No,
But
there was one this year.
there's a revival making it, hopefully coming to New York.
Yeah.
But that song "One Night in Bangkok" is just
Yep.
I think of Murray Head every time I think of that song.
All right. Now, Peter is looking up Murray Head. Did he have anything to do with writing the music? Would Andrew Lloyd Webber be happy to know that you think that Murray Head wrote the music for Jesus Christ Superstar?
He may have contributed something to it because Jesus Christ Superstar was Andrew
concept
Lloyd
album.
Webber's first big hit. And actually, I believe he wrote the musical Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat first.
Yes.
But
he wrote that for children, actually.
He wrote it for children, but Jesus Christ Superstar was written as a concept album, which then became a musical, a stage musical, in the same way that Evita started out as a concept album and then went to the stage.
You're absolutely right. And so Andrew Lloyd Webber really did that. In Ragtime, they tried to do that with Ragtime. The album came out. The concept.
No. The album for Ragtime was a film, and there was an album of that. And then Ragtime the musical tried out in Toronto quite a while before it made it to Broadway. And so by the time it opened on Broadway, the cast recording from the Toronto production, which was pretty much the same cast, was out and about. And that happens with some shows that are recorded before they get to New York.
I understand.
Okay, so he doesn't get the writing credit, but he gets the credit for bringing it to the top 100.
Oh, yes, because he was one of the stars with Murray Head and Yvonne Elliman. Okay. Now, which guy?
I believe he gets the writing credit for One Night in Bangkok.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he does. Yeah.
And the music of Chess.
We might play, if we have a chance, One Night in Bangkok. See if it's short enough to play.
It's a long piece.
There's
of
a single version.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Would you try to find it
of
for
course,
us?
I love that song.
But as long as we're talking about Andrew Lloyd Webber, he wrote Phantom of the Opera, which is probably his most famous musical of all times, and he wrote a sequel called Love Never Dies. And Love Never Dies opened, and it died rather quickly.
Yes.
People just didn't care for it. But he went back to the drawing board, and other directors went to it, and it had a successful revival, if you want to call it that, for a show that never made it to Broadway in Australia. And then
they made it. I saw it because I saw it on a like Broadway HD that I had. BroadwayHD.com had
Then it
Love
went
Never
back
Dies.
to London, and now it's on a tour of the United States in the hopes of going to Broadway. And it comes to the Bushnell in Hartford at the end of May, I think around Memorial Day. So Andrew Lloyd Webber's got stuff happening.
Well,
in
you know
show.
why? Because he's turned 70 this year. And that's a big deal for us. Yes, yeah.
So when you turn 70, you got to do something special?
Oh,
well, he shares a birthday with Stephen Sondheim. In fact, I was on the air that day with the folks from Berkshire Theater Group, and we realized March 22nd is a major day in the American theater because
I know the answer to this
birthdays of Stephen Sondheim, Andrew Lloyd Webber, and the publicist from Berkshire Theater, Madeline Gardner, who sings and is a stand-up on the side. And
really?
She won the Berkshire's Got Talent.
No kidding.
The weekend of her birthday, which was March 22nd, she did a show at Methuselah in Pittsfield.
Oh, she did a cabaret?
A cabaret. She's really a hot ticket.
She's
singer and
fun.
comedian.
She's just fun.
I gotta get in contact with her because we could use her in our cabaret series, maybe perhaps.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go.
always thinking. Hey, so it's 7:08 in the morning.
I had the song you requested.
Yeah. Okay. What we're going to play a version of One Night in Bangkok.
I believe this was the release for the top 40.
Okay, so it's Murray Head's One Night in Bangkok.
Yes.
Okay, but this is from a show that's an ABBA-inspired show, right?
They wrote the show. It's called Chess. It's a story about an international chess match between an American and a Russian. I can't tell you really what it's about beyond that because
it's about the Cold War.
I've seen it twice.
That's what it is about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it has so many themes and so many imagery to it that it could be about a lot of things.
I gotcha. Well, does it take place in Bangkok? 'Cause that's where they're. One Night in Bangkok is where they're playing chess.
I think that's where the tournament
is that
match
the
is, yeah.
It's a tournament. There's a song that takes place in the Alps. There's songs that take place all over the place as they compete.
I see. Have you ever been in Bangkok?
No.
Have you ever had one night that you wanted to be in Bangkok?
I've had Thai food.
Close enough. Close enough. One night in Bangkok.
Yeah.
gem of the chess world in a show with everything but Yul Brynner. Time flies, doesn't seem a minute since the Tyrolean spa had the chess bars in it. All change, don't you know that when you play at this level, there's no ordinary menu? It's Iceland, or the Philippines, or Hastings, or this place.
One night in Bangkok in the world's your oyster. The bars are temples, but the pearls ain't free. You'll find a god in every golden oyster. And if you're lucky, then the god's a she. I can feel an angel sliding up to me.
One town's very like another when your head's down over your pieces, brother.
It's a drag, it's a bore, it's really such a pity to be looking at the bar, not looking at the city.
What do you mean? You've seen one crowded, polluted, thinking town, but get tired, you're talking to a tourist whose every move's among the purists. I get my kids above the waistline, sunshine.
One night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble. Not much between despair and ecstasy. One night in Bangkok and the tough guys stumble. Can't be too careful with your company. I can feel the devil walking next to me.
Cyan's going to be the witness to the ultimate test of cerebral fitness. This grips me more than would a muddy old river or reclining Buddha. Thank God I'm only watching the game, controlling it. I don't see you guys rating the kind of mate I'm contemplating. I'd let you watch, I would invite you, but the queens we use would not excite you. So you better go back to your bars, your temples, your massage parlors.
One night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster. The bars are temples, but the pearls ain't free. You'll find a god in every golden oyster. A little special little history. I can feel an angel sliding up to me. One night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble. Not much between despair and ecstasy. One night in Bangkok and the tough guys tumble. Can't be too careful with your company. I can feel the devil walking next to me.
WSKB's programming is generously underwritten by Whip City Fiber, Westfield Gas and Electric, where they offer gigabit internet speed. Whip City Fiber, turning Westfield's neighborhoods into fiberhoods. On the web at whipcityfiber.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. That's what you'll find on Ken's Den, Tuesdays from 8 till 10.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning. It is April 3rd. Who believes that it is April? My gosh, and it's not April Fool's Day. You may think you're listening to the April Fool's Hour, but it's actually
every time we're
Hey, Marco,
here.
you like when I go into the command voice with Bob?
Yes, I do. Yeah, well, I mean, we are a bunch of April Fools and May Fools and June Fools, but it really felt like April Fool's Day was yesterday because waking up to snow in April. But then I remember I've got a high school reunion coming up this year, and a group of us are planning something in June, and we were talking. It snowed in May, the night of our senior prom.
What?
Not a lot.
It was like a miracle. That's a miracle.
I call that mood
like
snow.
a star in the east.
Yeah, it was. There was a star in the east at the end of the prom. But I mean, this is New England, and there, I guess, is some white stuff in the forecast in the
For
next
Friday?
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even today, I think it's going to rain.
Berkshire
a bit.
Hills will make it a little mixed weather.
Yeah, sleet and some.
Just the hills, though.
Yeah. Oh, just the hills. Okay.
Just the
Stay
hills.
stay out of the hills. The hills are alive with the forecast.
The sound of pellets of sleet.
Hey, before we go on, I just have to say, Andrew Lloyd Webber's production, he produced it with Craig Zaden last night, or 2 nights
Sunday
ago.
night.
Jesus Christ Superstar was to die for.
I'm going to have to see that.
It was the best musical that I've ever seen on these live musical things out of all of them, and I was blown away. Not only because
You didn't think John Legend was that good?
I love John. No, I've always thought John Legend was more talented than people gave him credit for.
I was. The casting was spot on.
Oh gosh.
The and the music. See, now that's I go back because that's one of the first albums I bought in the 70s, and I had seen the show on Broadway back then.
Yeah.
It was a school bus trip. We went down to see the production.
Sure.
So, the only thing that I would pan was the commercial placements and the length of time. Because in my head, it's one piece of music from the beginning to the end. How do you break that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, see,
I
I
agree. The commercials just did me in, and I only watched about 20 minutes of it because I couldn't stand the commercials. It's online now, I'm sure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
on YouTube, and you can just fast forward through
Right.
the
I
commercials.
think I have it on my prime time anytime.
Yeah.
And
you have
it
to.
skips over the
The
commercials.
casting was superb.
Yeah.
And you think about some of the music from it. It came out in, I believe, 1971.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
the
year I was
music
born.
is still
Isn't it
really
relevant?
great.
It's relevant, and it's got to beat the production values of this. They did it at the Marcy Armory in
I was wondering
in
where they
Brooklyn.
did it. Yeah.
It's a huge armory, and they did it, and they were wise enough to make it a concert show in a way. So it really
That's how they
felt,
built it.
Yeah, I was expecting them to stand in front of a stage with microphones, and whenever I saw how they stage it, the staging
No,
was
it was definitely theatrically staged. And it had
my
a lot
God.
of Broadway people in it.
Lots of Broadway, and it's going to make a star of this.
One of the
Brandon
things
Dixon.
Brandon Dixon.
Oh, is that the Judas character?
Judas character.
Well on his way to stardom already.
Yeah.
But certainly will take him into
This will put him
that was
over, yeah.
amazing.
into a bigger arena.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah Bareilles, who most people know as a composer,
I love Sarah Bareilles.
actually has been on stage
Yeah.
quite a bit lately in her musical Waitress.
Yeah, she wrote it.
Yeah, Waitress is coming to the Bushnell next year
Oh,
on the
really?
Broadway series. There's some really good shows.
What do you got on there? What do you got?
They've already announced The Lion King is coming this summer.
Oh, I've got to
And,
see it. Well, I've got to get tickets right now.
The big
Bob,
one, Hamilton will be here for the holidays, and then some of the others are Fiddler on the Roof, Rent, Come From Away, The Sound of Music, and Cats.
Are you coming to see On Your Feet with us,
Yes.
Bob?
On Your Feet. When is it?
On Your Feet is still to come, and that's in June.
That's in June. I've already bought my tickets
I'll
for
be
that
there
one.
For that, yeah.
I'm going to opening night.
Cats is
Give
coming
me-
back.
give
I
me-
got to talk about Cats again for a minute. I didn't realize that was touring again.
Cats just finished a Broadway run. In the last 3 months of the Broadway run, a local from Westfield, Joshua Burridge, starred in it.
Yeah, he
starred?
And
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Who was
he's
he? Rum-tongue tiger?
He covered 6 different roles.
He was a spot fill-in.
Standby, and was in a number of, he said I interviewed him on the radio. He was in like 3 or 4 shows a week, the way it played out. But Cats is going on the road. I don't know if he's involved in it or not.
Uh-huh. Cats is one of those shows you either like or you don't like, and I like the first act sometimes, and then I like the second act other times. But I've never liked the entire show. But I'm willing to give it a shot.
I went to see it maybe a week or 2 after it opened in New York. I was living in New York at the time, and everybody said, this is the show you've got to see. And I thought the music, the song Memory, was absolutely great.
Oh, yeah.
But I found it to be really boring.
Oh, I thought it
And
was boring.
I've now had to review it maybe 3 or 4 times over the years, and I find more to like with it when I see it again.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well, it's
So
Andrew
for
Lloyd
me-
Webber again. But again, that may be a show that they could do on television, but you know what? It would need to be cut drastically.
I think they've already done it on TV.
Have they? Maybe in a performance or yeah. I think you can get it on
I think with the live musicals, these are really great that people are getting to see them. The batch that they've done to date, I think Hairspray was the best.
I might argue with you that this one, Jesus Christ, was the best. Was Grease I loved as well. Grease was exciting, and Hairspray. Those three were the top ones, I think. Yeah. Repeat those at the Bushnell for us, and should we get tickets for Hamilton now? Are we able to get tickets for Hamilton?
You're not unless you subscribe. But first of all, the website is bushnell.org.
Yeah,
if you
and it was very easy to navigate because I bought my tickets.
Yeah,
online.
it's very easy to navigate, and they've got descriptions of all. And I didn't mention all the shows on the Broadway series. I just mentioned.
If you like the music of the Miami Sound Machine, buy your tickets for On Your Feet.
On Your Feet is this season, along with Love Never Dies. But the new season kicks off in August with The Lion King, which will be at the Bushnell for several weeks.
Oh, great!
And then they've got The Play That Goes Wrong, which is a current Broadway hit.
Longest running comedy on Broadway now.
Yeah, and then Fiddler on the Roof, Rent, Come From Away, Waitress. Over the holidays, for 3 weeks is Hamilton.
Oh, wow.
And then
Holy
Sound of
Mother,
Music
what a
and
gift.
Cats, and I'm sure I've left something else out.
Oh my God! I've got presents to buy. I've got
there's some other things. There's some other shows around right now that people ought to consider. First of all, at TheaterWorks, the funniest play that I've seen in years. It's a play with music called The Legend of Georgia McBride. It's running now through the end of April. Mm-hmm. It's a story of
sounds like a cowboy tale.
It's the story of a Elvis impersonator in a seedy bar in the Florida Panhandle, and he's not making any money. His girlfriend is pregnant. They're about to be evicted from their apartment because they bounced a rent check, and the bar owner loans the bar out to a cousin of his who's a drag queen to do a drag show. And this Elvis impersonator is taught by the drag queens to become a drag queen, and all of a sudden becomes the hottest drag queen in town. And it's called The Legend of Georgia McBride. It's written by a young playwright, Matthew Lopez, whose previous play,
I know that. What title?
Reverberations, had its world premiere at Hartford Stage.
Yeah.
And I think this TheaterWorks production is so wonderful, and it is directed by Rob Ruggiero, who's their artistic director, who also directed La Cage aux Folles at Goodspeed. And he brought his star from Goodspeed, Jameson Stern, to play Miss Tracy Mills, the lead drag queen in Georgia McBride. So if you want a really funny comedy that is just one laugh after another,
I got to see
this is the show, and it's at TheaterWorks. And I got to say that
in Hartford,
Jameson Stearns, who plays Miss Tracy Mills, does a drag routine as Judy Garland, Betty Davis, Patty Duke from Valley of the Dolls, and it's probably a 15-minute musical theater sequence in the middle of this play that I never saw the audience laughing so hard. And the stuffy opening night crowd is just going bonkers.
So I am going to get tickets for this.
Must. Also, at Hartford Stage, a new play opens. It's called The Age of Innocence. It's inspired by the Edith Wharton short story.
You mean my Martin, the film that I was in, that I starred in, Age of Innocence?
Were you in that?
Yes, I was. With with Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder. I was in that.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
now it's a
Martin
stage
Scorsese.
play.
Now it's a stage. I wonder who's playing my part. Who's playing my part.
I don't know. Boyd Gaines and Sierra Bogus are starring at Hartford Stage. The comic humorist David Sedaris is at the Colonial in Pittsfield on April 13th. Funny. And the Springfield Symphony's bringing the Texas Tenors on April 21st. And they're doing the Verdi Requiem on April 28th when Kevin Rhodes returns from conducting at Vienna State Opera Ballet. But I'm real excited about the Capitol Steps.
Oh, you got to say that.
They are
let's
returning to Northampton, the Academy of Music on April 20th. They're current show is called Orange is the New Barack. I'm holding it up so the people that are watching on cable can see it. We've got 5 CDs to give away this morning to the first 5 people who call in. Peter Coles is going to give you that phone number.
It's 413-572-5579. And I want to let you know, it doesn't matter what your political persuasion. This is just funny.
They are downright funny. They've just put the finishing touches on a new CD called Make America Grin Again. That'll be out sometime in early June. But the show you'll see if you come up to the Academy of Music in Northampton on April 20th is called Cheaper Than Therapy, because when you think about it, with everything that's going on politically these days, you probably want to go to therapy. You can spend 90 minutes laughing.
Which is far better
and
therapy.
it is cheaper than therapy.
And it's nonpartisan. I mean, it's a really
totally nonpartisan.
They give grief to everybody.
Oh yeah. So we're going to give out Orange is the New Barack.
I got 5 of them here.
5 Capital Step CDs. So call in. What's the number?
413-572-5579.
All right. Now we're going to play. Why don't we do the 657 song? This is not a Broadway number, but I wanted to give a shout out to Hugh Masekela, who was the great South African trumpeter who died this past year. He did a lot for apartheid, against apartheid, along with Winnie Mandela, Nelson Mandela.
Winnie Mandela died yesterday.
Yes, exactly right. And she was a complicated character, married to Nelson, who really wanted the spotlight as much as Nelson, but she did a lot for apartheid. Hugh Masekela did a lot for music. He's well known for Grazing in the Grass. You know that song, Grazing in the Grass is a gas, every Fifth Dimension or something, Fourth Dimension or some other group. But I'm going to play Herb Alpert and Hugh Masekela's Skokian. And this was, it rose to the top in Europe. It maybe was somewhere in you might recognize it. But Skokian is a home brew from South Africa that they make at home, very alcoholic. So it's worth, I'd like a Skokian right now.
Well, we'll be off the air at 8. Somebody's got to have one somewhere here in Westfield, right?
All right. Get that Skokian ready for me. Here's Herb Alpert and Hugh Masekela. Hey, call in if you'd like a free CD of Capital Steps, the latest album, 572-5579.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley. With convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it is Tuesday morning, April 3rd, 2018, and counting, and we've got critic extraordinaire Mark Auerbach with us.
Jay looks like he got distracted by work.
Oh, he got distracted by work. So that's Peter Coles, the April autocrat of the airways. You autocrat, you. What is an autocrat? What is an autocrat?
Who is
an autocrat? What is that word?
One who stands alone in leadership, I think.
Oh, perfect.
You are an autocrat.
Autocrat of the airways.
I take Autobot.
You are the Autobahn.
No, Autobot.
Autobot.
Transformers.
Oh, is that a name for that?
One faction of the Transformers, yes.
Oh, I had no idea. Hey, so Mark Auerbach is here. Peter Coles can have the keys. Meow. And Jay is returning, I think, right? He just came in the door here. You did a little work there, Jay, while you were at it?
Yeah.
The definition is a ruler who has absolute power, autocrat.
Ooh.
Someone who insists on complete obedience from others, an imperious or domineering person.
Oh, my God. Oh, I got to change this. We'll have to come up with something.
That's just like my phone call.
Just
do it.
Yeah. The Autobahn of the airways.
The Autobahn.
You let everybody drive all over you.
Thanks. I've gone from supreme ruler to doormat.
We've still got a few CDs left for Capital Steps, so call in and get one at 413-572-5579, and they'll be.
Check the Facebook page, see if anybody's messages over there.
They'll be at the Academy of Music on April 20th, and you can get tickets through their website, aomtheater.com.
Are they going to be here in the summertime? Do they do a thing at
I can't tell you. I can't tell you that. That's
secret.
Well, it's not a secret, but that's up for Cranwell to announce, and they have not announced their summer programs yet.
Got it.
I have to say that I'm doing some work for Capital Steps. I've always done the press for shows around here, and I'm doing the Northampton one and the Warner Theater in Torrington, which is the night after, and I always do the Boston one on Thanksgiving weekend. But starting on April 2nd, which was yesterday,
Yes.
I took on some of their national press, and I'll be
Good for you.
doing some of their social media and some other things. So one thing I would say is if you're headed to Washington, D.C.,
Yes.
the Capitol Steps plays there every Friday and Saturday night at the
Really?
Reagan Building Amphitheater, which is on Pennsylvania Avenue at the Federal Triangle stop. There's parking nearby. It's in the theater district, right across the street from the National Theater, which is one of the most famous theaters in Washington.
The National Theater.
Been around for a long time.
Yeah.
The current Broadway musical Mean Girls that Tina Fey wrote did its tryout there. And they're doing a Beetlejuice musical pre-Broadway that's trying out at the National this summer. But
Is that a big house? Is that
about the size of the Colonial in Boston?
So it's not it's a nice.
It's a Broadway house.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing, Capitol Steps every Friday and Saturday night at the Reagan Building. Tickets are available through Ticketmaster. So if you're in Washington, or you're taking a school trip to Washington, or taking the kids down to see the cherry blossoms, or going for business, and you're there over a weekend, Capitol Steps are there every Friday and Saturday.
Wow. And right now, if you go to Washington, are the cherry blossoms out in Washington already? Do you know?
Nobody told me, but I think it's soon.
It's soon, so that would be an opportunity to go down and see Mean Girls. Now, Mean Girls,
Mean
the
Girls
movie
is on Broadway now.
Has it moved to Broadway already?
It's in previews. I believe
Wow.
it opens really soon. This is that period of time in New York between now and the end of April where a show opens almost every night because they're all opening in the hopes of competing for Tony Awards.
So if they open before a certain date, they
I
get...
think the cutoff is like April 28th, something around then.
Sure.
And there is literally a Broadway opening almost every night between
Wild.
now and then.
Can you see shows now that if they're not, let's say, they're opening in 2 weeks? Can you go down and see them before they open?
Most of them are in previews.
And so this idea of in previews, what does that?
Well, a lot of shows do a shakedown in New York before they open. They might do like a couple of weeks of previews or more. My Fair Lady is previewing right now at Lincoln Center. Carousel is previewing.
Yes. Frozen? Has Frozen?
Frozen is already opened.
Okay.
And as I said, it's like one show after another. There is a good site on the web called BroadwayBox.com, which will give you an idea of what has discount tickets and what's out there where you can buy full price tickets, and the list is endless.
Got it. Well, I wondered if for folks in Wisconsin and other places, whether there is a site where you can find out what shows are touring America. I wonder, could you get that at playbill.com, which I kind of love that.
Playbill.com has them, a list of tours, but you really need to check. They'll say, show X is in Des Moines this week or in Hartford this week, but you really need to check with the theater because sometimes Playbill doesn't update as frequently as tours come on board or...
I see. Yeah. And if I wanted to see, let's say, a snippet from a Broadway musical before I went down, so to kind of feel whether I wanted to see it or not, could go on YouTube or how do
there are so many different places, but BroadwayWorld.com tends to have 90-second videos of some of the shows. For example, those of you that went to Hartford Stage a couple of years ago saw the world premiere of Anastasia.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Which opened in Broadway a year ago
Yeah.
and launches its tour in the fall. And it's going on a 30-city national tour. The tour launches at the Proctors in Schenectady, New York. I don't know if it's coming anywhere around here because they've only announced some of the cities. But if you go to Anastasia's website, the tour cities are listed.
Yes. I wonder, I often say, oh, gosh, do we go to Broadway to see a show or do we catch a national tour? Is the show just like Broadway?
Well, most of the shows I've seen at the Bushnell, which is where the first level of national tours play,
Right.
are almost identical.
Now, when you say first level of touring, what do you mean?
There are several levels of national tours that are out there, but when a show like Anastasia goes out or Hamilton goes out,
right,
they're playing the top tier cities, and they're playing sometimes a week, sometimes they're playing a month. Hamilton is sitting down in big cities like L.A. for a couple of months. When it comes to the Bushnell in Hartford, it'll be one of the top tours, and it'll be there for at least 3 weeks. Then after the shows have toured for a while, they play shorter runs in some of the smaller theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, last month, Cabaret was at the UMass Fine Arts Center, and that had already toured the country after its New York run, so it was playing one-nighters. The show was okay. It had the costumes and the sets of the Broadway, but it was scaled down a little bit because you have to pack it up and move it out day after day after day, as opposed to a show like Hamilton that will sit for several weeks, or The Lion King that comes to the Bushnell.
So
they can build all the sets and everything.
It's kind of think of you find what big city is near you, and if the show is going to be there for a week or two, you know that it's probably a real
We're lucky
quality
because
tour.
Boston and Hartford usually get those long runs.
Yeah, Boston
and New Haven as well. Right?
No, New Haven, unfortunately,
No,
with the
used to
Schubert, it used to, but the Schubert is a very small theater compared to the Fine Arts Center or the Colonial or the Bushnell. And I think the Schubert is 1,500 seats, which it's the size of a Broadway theater.
Right.
The Bushnell is much larger.
2,000, I think.
Yeah, but the Bushnell in Hartford generally gets the top of the line shows, and the theaters in Boston do. And oddly enough, on the Arts Beat Radio in April, which is on April 18th, Paul Marte from the Bushnell is going to come on and be my guest to talk about the shows that come to the Bushnell and how they come in and set up.
Yeah. One last question about this, Mark. When they see a Broadway, it's a national tour, are they bringing a orchestra with them?
It depends on the show.
Yeah.
It depends on the show. Some of them travel with their principal players and hire the additional musicians to fill in. Some of them hire the entire orchestra in the towns where they're playing.
Yeah.
I got a technical question on those. You talked about the different size of the house you're going into. Do they scale the show to the building? I mean, if I know I'm going to the Bushnell, I'm bringing the A show, if you will. Is there a B show that will go to a smaller house?
Yes, the A show, but even the A shows are scaled and designed to play multiple theaters. Something Rotten came through the Bushnell in January, and then it played at the Hanover in Worcester, which is a different size theater. The sets were designed to be condensed or expanded based upon the size of the house. And obviously the lighting grids and stuff like that. Hamilton, I believe, is a one-set, multi-layered set show. But still, it has to be designed to fit into the various theaters.
You're going to get me into a theater. I just want to sit in the house and watch them come in and set it up. Yeah, I want to watch that.
That would be a great thing for Jay. That'd be a nice present.
Honestly, Jay, I'd love to see that. Talking about building sets, the wrestling, WrestleMania. I've watched them. No, I've watched them.
Go from Broadway
to
WrestleMania?
Just production. No, but just production value and music and everything. They do an entire arena, and they set up one whole half of the arena with thousands of lights and just a whole production value of them building that.
Well,
it takes them a week to build.
Yeah, the load in for most shows is probably a day or a day and a half. I
remember when Phantom of the Opera came to the Bushnell for the first time. There must have been 20 of those huge
tractor trailers.
Tractor trailers. And it took close to a week to load in because of the chandelier that crashes from the ceiling.
Oh, of course.
The Lion King is a big
The Lion
show.
King is all those
That's
puppets.
coming to the Bushnell. So I would suspect that it travels in multiple things. I haven't seen a show load in. What interests me is how a theater like Goodspeed
Yes.
can put together a musical like the Will Rogers Follies, which opens their season in April, and all the costumes, the Ziegfeld Follies girls must have 8 or 9 costume changes, elaborate costumes during the show, and multiple sets. How do they fit it into such a small theater?
Yeah, the postage stamp, the Goodspeed, and actually lots of shows have gone from the Goodspeed. James, my spouse, did the Goodbye Girl at Goodspeed, and then went to Broadway. Annie and Man of La Mancha, and Holiday Inn, they all went to Broadway.
It was amazing to see Murder on the Orient Express at Hartford Stage. How they got that train on this small stage. Where did they store it when the dining car was moved off stage?
Oh, it was at Union Station in Springfield.
Yeah.
I saw it every night.
But it always amazes me, and I can be astounded by the technical stuff, the lighting, the sound, the costumes, and the scenery that can be moved in and put into a various theater for a show.
Yeah.
And certainly some of the stuff that's coming through the Bushnell, like The Lion King or Cats or Hamilton, have very, very intricate sets.
Oh, I can't wait to see these and to see how they bring a show from New York to Broadway,
or even a little theater like Theater Works that did The Wolves, which was a soccer field, and then has The Legend of Georgia McBride, which is a small, seedy bar. And how they can fit it into that space. Amazes me.
I love it. Hey, we're going to take a break, 7:46 in the morning here on Wow, It's Tuesday, Westfield on Weekend Show. I'm going to play Andy Williams. Andy Williams is a great singer. Let's face it. He's got a great voice. He has an album of songs, or he had an album of songs from My Fair Lady, and that were updated. And this is one of the lesser-known songs from My Fair Lady, but it's still holds up after all these years. And this is a jazz waltz version of Show Me from My Fair Lady. Andy Williams.
Don't talk of stars burning above. If you're in love, show me. Tell me no dreams filled with desire. If you're on fire, show me. Here we are together in the middle of the night. Don't talk of spring, just hold me tight. Anyone who's ever been in love will tell you that this is no time for a chat. Haven't your lips long for my touch? Don't say how much. Show me, show me. Don't talk of love lasting through time. Make me know undying vow. Show me, don't say how much. Show me, show me. Don't talk of love lasting through time. Make me know I'm dying vows. Show me, show me, show me, show me now.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Underwriting support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business for the Greater Westfield communities. Informing, educating, advocating, the Chamber provides opportunities for members to make meaningful connections on local, regional, and state levels. For more information on the Chamber's many events workshops, and programs, as well as the benefits of membership, visit westfieldbiz.org. The Chamber focuses on the most important economy, yours. Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Thursday morning from 6 till 8, it's Patrick Berry, owner of the Westfield News Group.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. Oh, God, we're all whining here. Honest to God. It is April. Yeah, well,
and no one knew until you told them all. He says we can do all of this off air, but don't tell them everything that goes on. When
we're whining. We're whining. April 3rd. Program notes 2018. It took me a long while to get to 2018. We're here with Mark Auerbach's critic extraordinaire, and Peter Coles, and Jay Pagluka, and Kenny Stomsky's coming on. Hey, Kenny, who do you have on today? What your show is Ken's Den, and what are you going to have on?
Today, from City Hall, I have Amber Danahy and P.J. Miller.
Ah, the community development folks. Very good, very good. There's going to be talk of what's happening developmentally wise in our community from the community development folks.
I think there's a thing going on about Shop Westfield.
Ah, Shop Westfield as well. Oh, great. Wonderful. Get out there and shop Westfield. Speaking of Shop Westfield, hey, I got to do a commercial for Westfield on Weekend Store. Actually, the storefront that we have on Main Street, Westfield Creative Arts, has all kinds of classes, courses that are really well attended. And if you want a course or class, or your kids want, they have children's programming now at Westfield Creative Arts. Go online to westfieldonweekends.com and punch in Westfield Creative Arts, and you can see all the courses and classes.
All the links are there.
I just had an image of Bob teaching posture classes on the, on Elm Street with people standing in front of a blue umbrella with a bestseller on their heads.
That's exactly right.
The good news is nobody here on this side of the microphone is teaching.
We're
those
not
classes.
teaching anything. No.
We have some
will help
wonderful instructors down there.
Actually, I've been invited. I'm coming out here sometime in the next 2 weeks.
What are you doing?
To do kind of a how-to public relations class for one of the communications classes.
Suzanne Boniface. Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
And my friend Michael Cusick was just out here doing a class for her. So I love the chance to come out and talk about what I do for work with students that are studying public relations and communications.
Oh, man, it's the most important thing. You could inspire one kid to go on from here and to stick with it and to study well. That would be really great.
I've been mentoring over the last maybe 10 years people in communications, and I actually, over the last 2 years, was asked to mentor a high school student in writing skills. And this guy who is about to graduate from Minnechaug, is an incredible communicator. And the only writing issues that he really had were some grammar things, because they don't teach students to write the way we were all taught.
No.
But he had great ideas and things to say. And working with him reinforced in me the importance of mentoring and the importance of how you express yourself in writing, because we're all Twitter writers now. You know, you drop sentences, drop words. I can't remember how many times I've condensed something to fit 140 characters.
Oh,
when
yes.
The reality
edit.
is, as communicators, we should be using better language.
People don't talk in shorthand. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you try talking in emojis, I'm going to come up and just probably slap you.
Yeah.
I was never a great writer, but you could. I can recognize poor writing when somebody else is doing it. So, and especially in business, it's important to be concise, be accurate, and in the email world, you have to be, especially in business. One of the courses I enjoyed the most when I was going back to school was business writing, and I thought it was going to be the most difficult, boring, annoying. I got the most out of it. And that business writing class still stays with me now.
I've been a writer for most of my career and covering, it's either, if I'm not doing public relations, I've been working part-time as a reporter.
Well, did you take a journalism class? Were you inspired by...
I was a theater major.
You were?
Yeah.
I took a journalism class.
I mean, I did take one class.
You were a reader as well.
But I read. I
which
took
is
one
the
class.
part of it.
My classes were more in radio than in print. But I've had two really good editors over the last few years. One is for the now unfortunately defunct magazine Take, but Janet Reynolds, who had been the publisher of the Hartford Advocate and the Valley Advocate and an arts writer, edited my work for Take. And to have an editor of that quality working with me, to say, well, maybe you want to change that word, or maybe you want to fix this. It was great for me. And the other, I write for the Westfield News, and Patrick Berry edits my work. And, Patrick is a really incredible editor.
Really?
And I like working with him. Some days he says, I just take your stuff and throw it up there, and then if I've made a mistake or something, he fixes it later. But he's questioned me on some things that I write, and I like writing for him. It's a real good experience.
Yeah. Now, James is taking a course online from the Gotham Writing Workshop, believe it or not. And I think he's taking it in memoir writing or something. I think he's going to... you can read the real truth about our relationship later on from here.
The memoirs of James.
The memoirs. Okay. So
it's a drama.
So he'll... Yeah. Oh, God.
Soon to be a musical.
Yeah. Who's going to play me in that musical?
Only if James writes the lyrics.
Linda Jackson is back on Broadway. She could play it.
Only if James writes the lyrics.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, so he asks me to...
Bob did, we'd never get out of the theater.
Critique his homework. Oh, my God, don't you ever critique your spouse's work. Oh, God.
Bob, that's called the no-win scenario. That's the Kobayashi Maru.
I'm trying to couch my this. Well, could you think of it in another way or whatever? But it's sort of like teaching your kids to drive or something. But the Gotham Writers Workshop is doing well by James. I got to say that much. And he's enjoying.
It's 7:58 at WSKB.
Oh, great! Hey, I think we've wasted another 2 wonderful hours of folks' time.
Well, for you, it's
It's
1:40.
People out there that are going, I'll never get these 2 hours back in my life. And there are others who say, I'm glad they're going to post it to YouTube later because I want to relive these 2 hours.
One of our callers for Orange is the New Barack, Ellen Fenton, says she loves us, listens to us every morning.
Oh, terrific.
I don't know how many of the CDs we have left, but if Kenny wants to give the rest of them away.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
This morning,
have 2.
We have 2 left.
Yeah.
Okay.
572-5579 is our number.
That's right. It's the Orange is the New Barack CD from the Capitol Steps, who will be performing on April 20th at the Academy of Music in Northampton. But if you want, we got a couple left. Give them away.
All righty. Hey, get out there, everybody, and YouTube the Jesus Christ Superstar thing before they take it down. Number 1. Go on Comcast and see Jesus Christ Superstar. honest to God, you're going to have in the experience of your life. It's so wonderful.
Bob, don't tell them how it ends.
I won't tell you how it ends.
Hey, Bob, I got a great song to finish some of the last comments you have. We're talking about communication and how nobody writes well.
What is this?
Weird Al has a wonderful take on it called Word Crimes.
Word Crimes, and who's
Listen to the lyrics.
And who's singing this?
Weird Al Yankovic. But no, Bob, you have to listen to the words because as an English guy, a major,
yes,
you will appreciate every second of it.
All righty. We'll scratch Ella Fitzgerald for
next time. We got April going.
Yeah, and we'll hear Weird Al Yankovic.
Listen to the words of this.
Get out there and volunteer, everybody. See you next week.
Everybody shut up.
Here's the deal, I'll try to educate you. Gonna familiarize you with the nomenclature. You learn the definitions of nouns and prepositions. Literacy's your mission, and that's why I think it's a good time to learn some grammar. What? Now did I stammer? Work on that grammar. You should know it. It's less or it's fewer, like people who were never raised in a sewer. I hate these word crimes, like I could care less. That means you do care, at least a little. Be a moron. You better slow down and use the right pronoun. Show the world you're no clown. Say you got an IT followed by apostrophe. Yes, now what does that mean? You would not use this in this case as a possessive. It's a contraction. What's a contraction?
Well, it's the shortening of a word or group of words by omission of a single letter.
Okay, now here's some notes. Syntax, you're always mangling. No X in espresso. Your participles dangling. But I don't want your drama. If you really want, leave out that Oxford comma. Just keep in mind that BC are you. Our words, not letters. Get it together. Use a spell checker. You should never write words using numbers unless you're 7 or your name is Prince. I hate these word crimes. You really need them. Those are group freedom. I need those crimes. You dumb mouth breather. Well, you should hire some kind of linguist to help you distinguish what is proper English. One thing I ask of you, time to learn your homophones is past due. Learn to diagram a sentence too. Always say to whom, don't ever say to who. And listen up when I tell you this. I hope you never use quotation marks for emphasis. You finished second grade, I hope you can tell if you're doing good or doing well. Better figure out the difference. Irony is not coincidence. And I thought that you'd gotten it through your skull about what's figurative and what's literal. Oh, but just now you said you literally couldn't get out of bed. What? That really makes me want to literally smack a crowbar upside your stupid head. I read your email. Oh, yeah. It's quite apparent. Your grammar's errant. Your incoherence. Saw your blog post. It's really fantastic.